Hey, this is Andrew Jones. You watch On Deck with Tyler.
Welcome into On Deck. I'm Tyler Redmond. As always, make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so that you can be notified every time I drop something new. Speaking of new, it looks a little bit different around Braves country right now. They just signed Yasiel Puig. It is unknown how long and how much the deal is for. I imagine it will be for 1 year. I couldn't see it going any longer, and I would be lying to you if I told you that I'm not absolutely surprised at what the Braves did today. Not in necessarily a bad way, but with the crowded outfield that they already have, even without Nick Markakis, it did surprise me that they went and got another outfielder, when I think that if the Braves have a weak spot, it's most likely in left-handed pitching. But also, I mean, with all the shutdown, there hasn't really been much talk about trades and signings of free agents, and I think it's shocked most people that Yasiel Puig has gone this long without being signed. The other competition the Braves seem to have was the Boston Red Sox. They obviously won that. You know, AA isn't one to speak on what the Braves are doing much. He did mention the other day that in an interview with Kelly Kroll that he had made a couple phone calls to kind of read the room and see who's out there, see what he'd be willing to give up. But he didn't give up anything other than money today. He just signed a free agent. So let's get into the numbers a little bit with Yasiel Puig. Last season, he hit 24 homers. He had a .267 batting average and 84 RBIs. His time was split last year with Cincinnati and Cleveland. He is a former All-Star, and I think if this was anybody else, everybody would be on board. The fan base wouldn't be split. I think there is a mixed reaction right now because it is Yasiel Puig. He's a former Dodger, and there's a lot out there. A lot of dirty laundry that's been aired from former coaches, former teammates, and about his attitude and things like that, about tardiness. And I think he's a wild card anyway on the field, but with the off-field things, I think a lot of people are scratching their heads as to why the Braves would pick him up. Obviously, to me, I don't think the Braves pick him up if Markakis doesn't opt out over the past couple of weeks. There would be no reason to, but do I think this can work? Absolutely. On paper, I love adding this bat to the lineup. 24 homers could help fill that hole that we've heard so much about Josh Donaldson leaving a hole, and Marcell Ozuna not being able to put up the numbers that Josh Donaldson did. I think this helps with that. With that said, for him to be successful with the Braves, he has to come in mature. He has to walk in the door mature. The Braves have one of the best coaching staffs all the way around in baseball. They have Manager of the Year. They have Walt Weiss. They have Ron Washington. He's got to listen to those guys. He's got to be able to function under their tutelage. And he may pick up a ring with the Atlanta Braves this year. Anything can happen in a 60-game season. And if he gets his head on straight, he can be a fundamental part of that. I genuinely think he wants to, because at the end of the day, no matter who you are, if you're a Major League Baseball player on a 1-year deal, you want a long-term, big-money contract the next season. And I think he's playing for that this year. I think if he's smart, he would be playing for that this year. I think he needs to handle business on and off the field and control the things that he can, show up on time, control your attitude, things like that. And I think he can do that. He has all the tools on the field. I can't overstate that enough. He is a good hitter. He's a solid hitter. He's got home run numbers. He's got a cannon in right field. If you haven't seen it, go look up some of his highlights. He's an electric player, and frankly, I welcome this pickup by the Braves. I am excited about it. I think he'll fit in well with the excitement of Ronald Acuna and Ozzie Albies, and the entire younger crowd of the Braves. I think he's a veteran, but he's also able to mix in with a younger generation. I think that's good for the Braves. I think he's a great addition to the lineup, period. I don't think there's any arguing that. And like I said earlier, AA doesn't say a lot about what he's doing. I mentioned the crowded outfield. Right now, you have Ozuna, Acuna, Duvall, Ender, potentially Camargo or Riley, and not to mention Drew Waters and Christian Pache, all possibly vying for spots in the outfield, right? So could someone be trade bait? I hate to say it, but something has to give. You have 5 too many outfielders right now. And the DH kind of helped to solve a little bit of that problem when it was integrated into the National League. But now that doesn't matter because now you've added that back. And I hate to say it, but Markakis leaving also helped to make a decision for the Braves into who they're going to put in the outfield. You know, it looked like the Braves are going to go in as is with Duvall, Acuna, and Ozuna or Ender in the outfield. And now you've thrown kind of a wild card into that scenario. And if they're paying him big money for 1 year, he's in the outfield. So I would tell you he's either in the outfield or he's in the DH spot. But I would imagine that with his defense versus Ozuna's defense, I imagine he's going to sit in right field rather than Ozuna being in left. So where does that leave guys like Ender and Duvall and potentially, Camargo, Riley, Drew Waters, Christian Pache? I think it slows the talk of Pache and Waters, but I don't think it makes them trade bait at all. I don't see the Braves getting rid of any of their younger guys that are built for the future. I think Ender may be trade bait is basically what I'm circling around here. You might not like that, so feel free to message me in the comment section, and I'll get back to you. Tell me why you don't think so. But I do think that I think he's been kind of trade bait for a while. I think he's been somebody that the Braves can afford to lose, and I think he'd make a great addition to another team. He's a veteran outfielder, and maybe somebody like the Rockies, who has a lot of they have a lot of ground they have to cover in the outfield. I think somebody like that. If the Braves can get left-handed pitching for Ender Inciarte, that would be awesome for them this season. If they can do that, great. If not, they have a really stacked outfield. But tomorrow we'll get a little bit more into it. I just wanted to update you as of right now what's going on with Puig. We don't know a lot about his deal. We only know that he's agreed to a deal with the Braves as of right now. So I'll update you tomorrow morning. Hopefully we'll find out how much he's getting paid for that, potentially 1 year. I think it's probably going to be 1 year. Of course, I'll let you know how long it is if it's not 1 year. But what do you think about all this? You know what I think, so let me know if you disagree with me in the comment section. Do you think Yasiel Puig is a bad addition to the Braves? You wouldn't be alone there. I think it could go either way. But I want to know what you think. I want you to like this video. I want you to subscribe to this channel so you can keep up to date with all things Braves. As you can tell by today, there's always some exciting news in Braves country. So I do my best to cover all of that. So please make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the bell for notifications. And, I'll see you tomorrow on deck.